sports. Genah, although what you didn't win the championship last year, it was still quite a successful season for someone that's still early in their career, going 2-1 with getting a finish as well. What do you feel like you can take away from last season to continue to develop further this season?
More experience, so this Friday will be my sixth MMA fight. I didn't have an amateur career. Obviously, I've got a kickboxing and Muay Thai background, so that's experience. But I'm learning on the job, so at the highest level in one of the top promotions in the world. So I I took every single fight, every single weight cut, every single camp. I am constantly evolving and learning and leveling up at a rapid rate. Disappointing end result because I did have, I feel like one of the better performances and seasons out of the lightweight division. Just couldn't get the job done, but that's only added fuel to the fire and leveling up and growing as a martial artist and as a person as well throughout this process. So took a lot away, motivated as ever, hungry as ever, and better than ever. So I take this fight hugely. I've been taking this. I haven't took my foot off the gas since the next Monday after that fight in August, and I have been working entirely throughout that time out here in America. So I'm excited to display my best performance here on Friday.
I'm sure you focus on all aspects of the game during those training camps, but what did you focus on most during that time?
Sorry, repeat that.
I was saying, I'm sure that you focus on all aspects of the game during those training camps since your last fight, but what did you feel like you focused on most during that time?
So a lot on my grappling and my wrestling. I was fortunate enough to have my wrestling coach, Frank Hickman, out here in the stateside with me for throughout majority of that time, and we trained and grappled and wrestled every single day or every single working day. So that's come in leaps and bounds, and I already had a good base or was working on that aspect of it, but just things take so much time to be learn techniques and whatnot, and then b have them cemented in your game and make them your own and find what works for you. So that I would say is a lot more cemented and just a lot more confident in that side of my game to apply. That a lot of time was spent there, but I also know the fighter I am and where I want to keep it. So it's just finessing and finding what, your style, your game. And I think that I know that at this point right now, I am
Harry. Okay. Let's go, Neil.
Thank you. Hi, Genah. Neil Davidson from the Canadian Press in Toronto.
Hi, Neil.
I understand you were quite a talented athlete in a number of sports growing up. Can you tell us what sports you took part in, and then what convinced you to switch over to combat sports?
Yeah, so my original base was track and field, and from 6 years old, and I competed and was fortunate enough and worked my way up to represent New Zealand at the Junior Olympics, Junior Worlds as a junior coming through. And did that till I was like 19. So that was my base, and just that discipline, that professionalism, that regimen and schedule, and going into the higher levels as I progressed, like translated over into other sports that I continued in after that point. So I rode as well. I moved to Australia in my late teens, early 20s, and that's where I kind of dabbled in that and had so much fun. And still water and surfboat rowing, and then upon a holiday to Thailand, just found Muay Thai, found my first martial art combat sport, and here we are, like ran with it to date. So I think those core fundamental like skills of regimen and discipline and body awareness and coordination, all those things and skills really did help me in that transition when I started to train martial arts and then got into fighting. Eventually, as I did, I was a late starter compared to most. I didn't grow up doing martial arts per se. Obviously, always an athlete, but martial arts is a different thing. So those things helped me, and the rest I had to navigate and learn and figure out for myself.
And can I ask, what was your specialty in track and field?
My events were 100, 200, and then later triple jump.
And how old were you when you went to Thailand and had your first taste of combat sports?
I was 22, I believe, just turned 22. And then, trained and literally, tried it for the first time and was based out there for a month, and then went back to Australia where I was residing at the time, and just caught the bug and loved it so much and loved my experience there that it brought me back to Thailand. And then a year later, after I started training, I took my first fight out there in the Mecca.
And just finally for me, you said you're learning at the highest level, and you've been handed champion opponents. You're obviously fearless. You like testing yourselves against the best?
Yeah, 100%. Someone close to me, told me that, when you are scared to jump, that's when you should jump. And that's how I've approached this, I think not just my career in fighting to date, but just how I live. And I don't always, it's not like I try to be like that, but that's kind of always the situations I find myself in, in life in general. And so that's exactly how I approached this fight. And, like you said, a seasoned veteran, champion coming over from Bellator, an impressive resume and wins against some good opponents. But, I can honestly say, like, none of that matters. This will be my sixth fight in MMA, and I believe I've got everything to beat her and to upset, this night. And with all due respect, like, I just think I've got more in me than to negate her game and get a great name under my belt come Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Harry.
Hey, Genah, Harry Mack from the Bookie's Basement. I hope all is well. So I think we've touched on it a little bit, but how would you say the move from City Kickboxing to Extreme Couture has kind of changed your game and changed you as a fighter so far?
Yeah, I haven't changed gyms at all. Basically, the situation was that I couldn't get back into my country due to our government shutting our borders down and with the lockdowns with COVID and whatnot. Those have just in the last couple of months, or 6 weeks really, have been open. So I was kind of stuck over here in a sense since my last fight in August. And yeah, look, I'm still very much, I will be going home after this fight, finally, back to City Kickboxing. But my coaches and team back home, we talk every single day or every second day. They're across all my training. They know exactly what I'm doing, who I'm working with. And so I'm really fortunate that I have a team that support me and are across me, as much as we can manage throughout the situation. So yeah, my coach Eugene, who's here with me and will be in my corner on Friday night, he's come over, but he's been across everything, and he actually frequents, he's been here since the start of the year. Every 2 weeks he's flying back and forth into Vegas or some part of the States because the boys are all fighting. So I have been able to, every time he comes over, we spend the week together and reinforce and reiterate our training and my game plan and lead up to this fight. So I haven't completely been away from home, but in terms of training in Las Vegas, where I've been, yeah, it's great. There's a lot of high level fighters out there, obviously. Vegas being the MMA mecca, and gotten in with some great partners and looks and high level women, which I'm not often used to working with as many girls. So that's been a real treat for me and something I've really relished and enjoyed, as they're all high level. So yeah, the experience has been a really good one for me. Obviously I miss home, but just made the best of the situation, didn't waste it. So yeah, I'm grateful that I've got a lot of good connections on both sides.
Got it. And so again, I think it was touched on very briefly, but Kayla Harrison and Julia Budd as back-to-back opponents is quite a gauntlet there. So have you ever found yourself kind of intimidated going into these fights with current and former champions?
Not intimidated. I'm not intimidated by any woman that I come up against. I know I'm just finding myself in the cage and honing in and finding my game. So it's not so much been about them. I do not fear them, and I truly believe I will beat Julia this Friday. With Kayla, that's the big one, right? In this tournament, she's the current champ and put people away in good fashion. But I want to meet her again this year. I know, and I felt her in there. I can beat her. I just didn't get a chance at all to hit her or touch her or do my thing, and that was just a bit of a mental block on my end. And with her great skill set, she out-techniqued me, but nothing she had surprised me. I blocked the first 3 attempts on the wall, and I kind of accepted the position. So I know that was within me, and I know that I will meet her again this year, and that's all I want. Ultimately, that's all I want, is to beat her. Nothing personal. I just know I can put this girl away, and just, first things first, Friday night, obviously. But the end goal is to meet her again and do what I know I can.
Got it. Well, thank you very much. Best of luck this season.
Thank you very much.